Greetings viewers, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we have a little bit of a channel update for the first quarter of 2021. So as most of you noticed this week, I was not that active here. I haven't posted, I don't think, but one actual YouTube video. Posted a couple of the new shorts, and that was about it. The last 7 days I have been working like crazy on a little bit of something I'm not ready to reveal yet, but you keen viewers might notice that things look a little different in my surroundings so much as I've shown you. But you know, when I've got what I'm doing finished, we'll have a full walkthrough and show you what's going on. So again, this is just a little update. Haven't really had time to film anything this week because of what I've been working on. But soon we will be starting on that 2007 Outback 2.5i Limited SUS, the Sport Utility Sedan. You know, I picked that up last Sunday or Sunday before last now. We will be starting on that. That'll be a pull the engine, head gasket reseal, and the power steering, address that, and we'll do a full front to back inspection like we've done on other vehicles I've purchased. You know, find everything wrong with it. You know, the same thing I did when I bought the 2013 Crosstrek this time last year. The same thing we did on that $300 Outback. You know, just front to back, full inspection, find all the stuff that's wrong with it, and tabulate what it's going to cost. That car, I'm not sure yet if I'm going to give it to my mother. That was the plan for the Crosstrek, but she ended up not liking the Crosstrek. She's extremely picky, if you haven't figured that out yet. So she's still driving her Chevrolet Cruze. I really want to get that car gone. I'm tired of messing with it. I would really like to get her in a Subaru. So again, I'll fix it, let her drive it, see if she wants it. If she doesn't want it, I'll just sell it as a flip car and try to find something else. But yeah, that's on the horizon. Of course, we've got more of the new format Subaru news videos. Those seem to be pretty popular that I've done the last month or so. More tool videos. Again, I know a lot of you guys don't like the tool videos. A lot of you guys are only here for tool videos, so it's going to get sprinkled in, so bear with me. You know, as I like to try to do a balance between just as many tool videos as I do Subaru videos to keep everybody happy. The 50 Ford F1 project I started, I've got, I think, 1 or 2 more videos filmed for that. I haven't edited them yet. But I got stuck on the project. The engine's not going to run at this point. Ended up breaking off 2 of the valves in the engine block. Haven't tried to extract them yet. It's a bit of a pain to do. I mean, I could and pretty cheaply buy another valve assembly, which is the valve spring, and the lifter. Install those, and most likely could get it to run enough to get it to run for the video. But you know, is it really going to be worth me messing with it for the video? I don't know if I had enough interest in the first video on it to worry about continuing with it. Another project we're probably going to get started on fairly soon. I say fairly because I don't know what my time frame is on this. It is my brother's 1967 Mustang Coupe. It has been sitting since 2009. It had an electrical fire. Tried at the time to get him to give me the money to purchase a brain fart painless wiring harness. I was gonna do a full painless wiring harness from headlight to tail light. The car was purchased in 2007, 2008, and it was a former drag car that was converted back to a street car, and a partial, really poorly done restoration, honestly. And the wiring was atrocious, and it had all kinds of weird quirks. When you opened up the doors, when the dome light came on, the reverse lights came on the back of the car. If you turned the high beams on, all of your dash lights would go out, so you only had dash illumination on low beam. Like, there were crazy wiring goblins in this car, so no wonder it had a wiring fire eventually. So back when that happened, I believe the painless wiring harness for that 67 Mustang was about $490. I just priced it last week, and I believe it's right at $850 now. So gonna cost him quite a bit more. There's some body work and things that we addressed. The body work and paint job that was on the car was fairly new at the time, and it was done very poorly. Lots of Bondo, lots of rust underneath, and it is, you know, disintegrated, so it needs body work as well. But first we need to get the electrical figured out, get it running again. I don't believe it had but about 12,000 miles on the 289 V8 that was in it. The C4 automatic had freshly been rebuilt when he had it. I think it's only got like 200, 300 miles on the transmission. So, you know, it's worth going back through, but, you know, it's going to be a long, drawn-out process, especially since I still don't have the shop built and I'll be working outside, which sucks. But it's just the way it's going right now. On the shop, I know I talked about that. What was it, October of 2020, I believe. I priced out everything, my concrete, the building, how much it was gonna cost me to rent either, not a telehandler, but, you know, the big fork. Maybe it is a telehandler with a fork attachment or a crane. I don't remember exactly now. We were gonna try to put it up ourselves to save some money. But grand total, the concrete was going to be over $30,000. The building itself was going to be like $36,000, $38,000. And between the wiring, the lights, the lifts, all that kind of stuff, you know, it figured out it was going to be about $100,000. Any of you that are in the trades, carpentry, construction, things of that nature, electrical, plumbing, you know that the price of building materials has skyrocketed and is not slowing down. So the estimated cost to build that same building I quoted in October of 2020 is now north of about $120,000. So I honestly don't think I'm going to get started on it right now. I'm going to have to sit back and wait and see if things are going to chill out, because it's insane right now. Case in point, a regular 2x4 pine stud to build a wall is currently, at the time of making this video, $5.98 a piece. This time last year, they were about $2.16 a piece. And I think about 2 years ago, they were $1.95 or less. So, I mean, building supplies are going crazy. OSB is like $40 a sheet. Plywood's like $60, $50 a sheet. I bought a box of framing nails last week. Part of the project that I haven't unveiled to you guys I've been working on this week. A box of 4,000 framing nails, collated for nail gun. $134 for 4,000 framing nails, 3.25 inches. Insane. So the building is again on hold. If I can find something local in town for rent, and the rent's not terrible, I might rent a shop again. I really don't want to rent, because, you know, if I'm going to rent, I'd rather be putting that money towards a payment on a building I own rather than in the pockets of somebody renting a building. But another issue is it's been raining for like 40 days and 40 nights here in the South. So the ground has been too mushy to even worry about grading and making the form to even pour the concrete slab to build a building on. So I've been stuck in that regard as well. Luckily this week it's been nice and warm and sunny, and things have dried up. But it's overcast right now, and I believe it's supposed to rain the entire week next week. So it's not going to happen anytime soon. It's got to dry out. So, yeah, disappointment, but it's life. Things happen. Hoping that eventually I'll get my shop at some point. But what I'm doing right now, what I've been working on this week, will allot me the ability to finally start doing more in-depth engine videos, hopefully some transmission videos, things of that nature. We'll have a space to work indoors again. We won't be able to put a full car in on a lift and work on a car, but at least we'll have the ability to do some engine work, transmission work, do some more service repair videos, more, you know, what I like to call visual service manuals with my older videos, where I went through step-by-step processes on how to do certain repairs or replacements, give you factory torque specifications, and try to, you know, just make it a video companion to a Subaru factory service manual for these services and repairs. So that stuff's on the horizon. Other things are in the works. So I'm not completely out of ideas yet, guys, so stick with me. We got plenty of tool videos coming, but the Subaru content's been kind of lacking, and, you know, as soon as I get all this stuff done, hopefully in the next day or two, hopefully by middle of next week, this week coming up, I should have everything in place to start working on that 2007 Outback, get some videos out on it. Again, I want to do the inspection video before I pull the engine to do the head gaskets and stuff, so if it's raining, I'm going to be waiting on the weather to cooperate because I'll be outside. But, you know, that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So, we're at 10-minute mark. Been rambling on long enough. Thank you, supporters. Thank you, subscribers. Thank you, everybody that watches the channel. We are, at the time of making this video, I think we're at like 87,000 subscribers. We are getting so close to 100,000 subscribers. Cannot wait to get to that milestone and beyond. Hopefully, you know, we can start expanding on things. Hopefully, things get better and the shop can get in motion and, you know, things just continue to grow and get better from here. Thank you guys for watching. Again, thank you all for the support, comments, likes, views on the videos. Thanks for supporting me and the channel. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.